What is going on, everybody? I'm Sean. This is Anthony, and welcome to the
What up?
Spooky Horror Show. Tonight, this was my pick, right?
Yes, 100%.
Okay. I couldn't fully remember.
100%.
Yes. So tonight we will be reviewing and spoiling the 2019 American Horror Candy Corn. I almost called it corn candy. But before we get into production facts and spoilers and everything, Anthony, how's your week been?
Actually, it's been terrible. My week started off with kiddo being sick. Then I didn't feel good. Then she didn't feel good naturally. Then I finally get back into work, and something I didn't tell you. I was tightening loosening a bolt. Either the wrench or my hand decided to bust into my nose so badly that it busted my nose open, bleeding everywhere, and they had to go to the fucking ER. They had sent me to go take an ER to make sure it wasn't broken, and they're like, well, it's not in harm, so if you want it to be any straighter, it's like cosmetic. So
Yeah.
so right now I'm
So
in
you
pain.
punched yourself in the face.
Oh, dude, just like I was trying to tighten, and when and then it just fucking let loose, and either the wrench went up or I went up, and just boom, right there, bro.
That's
I went down. I'm like, I'm good. I heard popping, and then I felt something. I'm like, I'm not good. And then it just poured out, and then it came out of my mouth, and yeah, it was fun.
that sucks.
3 hours waiting for a fucking X-ray. So yeah, it's been a real fucking fun week for me. Let me tell you.
But I mean, your camera's working.
Yeah, the camera's working. That's true.
It only took who is the camera manufacturer? Who is this? Is this Logitech Elgato?
Elgato. It's not it's Elgato. Fucking.
It only
top of the line, and they can't get a camera that fucking works with its own plug.
Yeah, no, that's stupid. I am towards the tail end of my 2-week mega diet, a little over 10 pounds down. I'm miserable. I don't like it. I have no energy. I just want to eat the foods that I like, and I can't. And then I spent, because last week's podcast was so fucking long. Like, usually our podcasts will run about 2 hours, maybe 2.5 hours. And then I cut it down to like between 1 hour 30 and 2 hours. So if it's like a 2-hour like podcast that we're doing, I could cut it down to like 1.5 hours. If it's like a 2.5 hour podcast, I can cut it down to like a 2-hour podcast, maybe like 1 hour 45. This was a 3.5 hour podcast because there was a lot of shit. Like, we went on rants about how the drill is a terrible choice for a fucking weapon. You know?
I can see, you know what? I could actually see that one being a little long because there was so much wrong with that movie.
Yeah, like, it's a great movie. I still recommend everyone go see the original Slumber Party Massacre. At some point, I'll get around to watching the reboot. But you know, there was the garage door debacle. Yeah. What do you call a garage door? Like, there's 2 of them: uppy, downy, open, closey. The sports ball. John Minor. Like, so there was a lot of stuff to cut. It is currently live on YouTube at all podcast services, like audio listeners, podcast services. It's up on Amazon, not Amazon, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, Stitcher. It's on all the platforms, and the video has been edited down. No. I think Amazon has a YouTube thing. Oh, I figured out what the fuck Freevee was.
I have it.
No, I know. Well, it's specifically to, like, it's an Amazon streaming service because it used to be IMDb TV.
Oh yeah, I actually like it. It's actually really
it's fine. But yes, it was a lot. That's why it's like this one. I think that one we had like a 10-page script of like all the plot and all that stuff. I got this down to 5. What, 10 page? Well, you got to remember, it's we're going over like scene by scene shit that's happening, and then we do get sidetracked and shit. We talk to chat, we do all that, but yeah, it took a while. I'm hoping that doesn't happen again because I'd like to have faster turnaround on stuff because I still got to make thumbnails, I still got to set up social media posts for everything. So there's still, plus I have my regular streams Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So it's like
both ends, dude.
I know. Well, you will be taking over once it's created, the Facebook aspect of it, because I do not touch Facebook. Yeah. There's certain platforms I don't touch because I value my mental health, and that's Facebook and Twitter. I'm on Instagram only because it's just photos. Usually I don't watch anyone's I don't watch anyone's reels really. I just look at photos and go, oh, okay, and then like it, and then fucking that's it. I don't really use it. The main thing I'm on is Discord. That's what I'm on almost all the time. I have it on every computer-ish type thing that I have. So if anyone ever wants to reach out and like in in my server, we have a whole area for the podcast. So if you have movie recommendations, I saw you added. Yeah. That was notes, recommendations. You put John Dies at the end. That's the movie with Henry Rollins, right?
No.
Which
You're
one
thinking
was
of
that?
It Doesn't Die.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, then the other
that
one was
one's Henry Rollins. That one's another mind fuck.
Because I remember this one. I think the chick that was in that I liked, and you still have Dead Alive on there, which we can't watch because we can't find it anywhere.
Dude, no, we found it. We found that one. You have to change your
you have to use a
UK.
Yeah, but we don't want to be like, hey everyone, if you don't have a VPN, go
no,
buy
we're
a
not
VPN.
Gonna do that shit on screen. No.
Yeah, if you got any ideas, just you can go there. You can go onto any of the YouTube channel and leave comments there for movies you'd want us to watch.
Oh,
what
you
are they
don't
called?
see. I'm looking at your thing. You don't have like a little post-it or like a thing on your front page or about me for
what?
Ideas.
Wait, what are you talking about?
Like movie ideas. You know how you have all the stuff on the front of your about me?
On what? Twitch?
Twitch, yeah.
Oh yeah, no, because this is only one day a week.
Yeah, that's why I figured it made more sense not to.
We are here today to talk about Candy Corn, which is a 2019 American horror film, written, directed, and edited by Josh Hasty. The film stars, like, if you look at a bunch of the stuff, it credits like the stars of the movie as Tony Todd, Courtney Gaines, and what's her name? I think it's PJ Souls. But Tony Todd is in it for like maybe a total of 10 minutes. And
altogether, yeah. It wasn't a very large role.
And then PJ Souls, who I'll go into who that is later, was only in it for like 5 minutes. She was the dispatcher.
The really bad actress.
Yeah, well, both actresses in this were really bad.
Oh,
the only two actresses there's three, but the only two main ones that had like speaking roles were just fucking terrible. But yeah, they were on it, but like they have no real screen time. So the real stars of this movie are Courtney Gaines, who was Malachi from the original Children of the Corn movie. He's the one that's like Outlander. Mike, who is played by Jimothy Beckholt.
He deserves that name.
Jimothy.
What the fuck? Jimothy? What the fuck kind of a name?
I don't know.
Cy Creamer. Name Jimothy?
I would hope so. Cy Creamer and Madison Russ. Those are the three. I didn't name the other one of the friends as the main cast because you see him like twice and then he's dead. So it's whatever. Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. So I don't have a box office or production budget. I couldn't find it anywhere. The film was released in limited theaters on September 13th, 2019, and then on video on demand services and Blu-ray on September 17th, 2019. So it was just in time for Halloween. It was filmed in Blanchester, Ohio. I think that's how you pronounce it. Blanchester,
okay, that
Ohio.
Makes sense. Do they tell you what time period? Me and the wife were trying to find out.
I wanted to bring this up. Oh, fuck. I don't have a tissue. God damn it. I wanted to bring this up because I'm like, why does nobody have a fucking cell phone? But then it's like...
They don't have a cell phone. All of the cars are not modern. They all do look like they actually are in like a stuck time period type of deal.
Yeah.
So...
But it's like also, it looks like every dead-end town in America.
Yeah,
so
he also said that too.
Yeah, so it's like, I don't know. But while only appearing in the film for a few scenes, Tony Todd is credited as an executive producer, while Courtney Gaines, who has a much larger role in the film, is credited as a producer. And that's about all I have until we get to fun facts. So, Anthony, what is your spoiler-free review?
I honestly don't think that much about this movie. I like the main carnival guy. I don't remember his name. I liked him. I liked his character, his ominous ways, and all that other stuff. What is it? Gregorthy? What was his name?
Jimothy.
Oh god damn. Jimothy's character. absolute piece of shit. I mean, I don't understand how people like that make it that far in life. Like, he is just a miserable, disgusting fucking person. The character, I don't know nothing about the fucking actor. And he's god ugly too. God ugly. But I didn't really feel that it was that great of a movie. Would I put it on in like a pinch just to have background? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't easy to find. Honestly, when you put the candy corn in, you have to like keep spelling out everything. It comes up on nothing.
Yeah.
And then you'll get it. But I felt they were trying to be very artistic. Did you notice there's a lot of scenes of no lines, no script at all, just a lot of good music and scenery.
The music was real, like cinematography in this is really good.
That's what I mean. I'm like, I feel like they were trying to like hand this in as a project.
Yeah, but then there were a lot of slow motion, like silent thing, and I'm just like, why? And it's not even like the good slow-mo where like the camera was built to do slow-mo, and it's just like, man, just stop. But it's like, again, I don't know, like I'm on candy corn, like real quick before so you can continue with yours.
Oh no, that was it.
So he's directed a bunch of stuff before. So again, this is another one of those things where it's
Tony Todd?
No. The director, Josh Hasty.
Josh Hasty,
yeah. So like he should have known better.
Excuse me.
But yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat as you. I probably don't hate it as much as you.
I don't hate it. I don't think it was that great.
Yeah. Like I said, the cinematography is great. There are some sound design things that were fucking jarring, which I could go into like right at the beginning of the movie. But like, yeah, like cinematography, the way they used the camera was really good.
That's what I mean. It felt like they were trying to be more like a college. Am I frozen?
Yeah. No, you're good.
No,
you're moving.
Okay. It's just a delay.
Yeah.
Like all of that I really did like the way it was shot, but it was like everything else. I was like, you could have done a little bit better with this.
The music was so good, and I didn't put it in the production details, but he was also one of the people, like the director was also involved in the music. Editing of it, pacing wise, like it was good. Like,
oh, okay.
Pacing wise, like I didn't feel like, oh my god, this is taking fucking forever. You know, like I didn't feel like that watching it. Then again, I was watching it on one screen, writing up the script on another, and pedaling my ass off on my underdesk fucking bike thing. Yeah. So I was doing a bunch of stuff, but it was like it was going, and I was able to type and keep up with stuff. Some of the actors were really good.
I feel like a lot of them were bad.
But yes, a lot of them were really, really bad. Jimothy was really bad. But
his acting was terrible. There wasn't a good scene with him. Even though he was just a dick. But his acting was shitty.
Because it's like, okay, it's like you could be a dick and like
be a good actor.
And like fuck, not Tyrion. Who the fuck was that little piece of shit in Game of Thrones?
Oh, yeah, that was the prince. The king, Joffrey.
Yeah, Joffrey. The dude that played him
it so well. He had to stop acting.
He was so good at being a piece of shit, even though he's a nice guy. That
it's just the role.
Just that role. He was so fucking good at it. The fucking who is it? The piece of shit fucking kid from Harry Potter. The pasty blonde kid. Slytherin.
Oh, I forgot his actual fucking
I don't remember his name either, but
Malfoy.
Draco Malfoy, the dude that plays him, another really nice guy. He played a superb fucking dickhead. The character of Mike in this is just awful, and not even in like, oh man, that's a good like villain arc. It's like, no man, it's like he delivered lines. I wonder if I have any of his lines written. Fuck, I don't. God damn it.
He was terrible at his lines.
Because like the way that he would deliver lines, the way he delivered lines was like, what's going on, guys?
Yeah.
Why are you so angry? You better nut up and don't be a pussy. It's like, why are you talking like that? Why were you even hired for this role? If I was one of the people in your friends group and that's how you spoke, I would have slapped you in the face already and told you to stop. Like, no. What are you doing? You are not Keanu Reeves. Do not talk like Keanu Reeves. Bless you.
Oh,
but for like the type of story, I think you said it like off stream that like a lot of people have done this story before. like a story
Yeah.
like this before. I just think that the character of Jacob and Dr. Death are an absolute standout, and I would want to see another film with them and
But they
and a
make
better
it also
cast.
it also makes it seem though that he can only do that do what happened very occasionally or
Yeah.
once.
Yeah, but still, like Jacob,
They gave
we'll
no
go with-
backstory to this poor guy.
Yeah. Well,
you know?
well, I mean, all they said was he's mentally handicapped and he's been picked on a lot.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. But all right, I'm gonna go into spoilers real quick. I have to find the button for it. And then I am gonna turn off my camera. Anthony will talk to chat, and I'm gonna get a tissue because my nose is all kinds of fucked right now.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Well,
it's
you'll
bad.
notice actually on the stream, you'll notice Tony Todd is his name, the actor from Candyman's in it. He has a very small role. He does he's kind of like the henchman, the right hand, I guess, of Dr. Death. And he just says like one or two little lines where I would have liked to seen him come in and be more active in the movie.
Yeah.
I feel like they probably spent a good amount of money on someone of that his caliber for them to do nothing. And it seems as if we are back. I was
Figure out where
very
the fuck
thrown
my
off by the beginning of that scene.
What scene?
Oh, I was just doing the opening scene where they're talking about beating the hell out of a handicapped guy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Making him walk down the middle of the street with his underwear streaked, and I was like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
Yeah, it's small town fucking America. It's I don't fucking know. It's like I hated this. This is everything that's bad with small town America. Because people go, oh well, you know, it's not really like this. No, it is 100% fucking like this.
100%.
This town is legitimately 4 of the fucking towns surrounding my town. This is fucking run down. These people are poor, but they don't really believe that they're poor. They're fucking uneducated. You could tell by how old are they supposed to be? Because they look like they're fucking 30. You know, so it's like, why are you still doing stupid shit like this? Like, you're fucking losers. You're small town losers. Just go drink your beer, stay home, and just don't socialize with people.
Yeah.
Okay, so we open at Cooper's Diner in what looks like any rundown town in America. Mike Ramford, played by Jimothy Beckholt, Steve Benson, played by Cy Creamer, and Bobby, they don't give him a last name, played by Caleb Thomas, plot to haze mentally handicapped misfit Jacob Atkins, played by Nate Cheney, which I think this is Nate's only his only role. This is all part of a long-standing Halloween tradition.
Like, why is that a tradition?
Like,
what kind of fucking disgusting people are you?
Small town trash. Like, I don't know, man. So, like I said before, all of these people, they look like 30-somethings that are stuck acting like high school freshmen.
Because they're stuck in a small town.
Yeah, and Mike especially is the quintessential loser who has absolutely nothing going on for him. He's a dead-end fucking loser who has to pick on handicapped people just to make him feel important.
I feel so bad for him.
Yeah, well, like the character needed to be shit. Otherwise, you'd be like, oh no, this guy is killing all the people. But
I don't even think
it's just...
I mean, he showed too much of a handicap, or he just seemed like he just was very withdrawn. But then again, his house was kind of
yeah. But again, this is fucking small town America. This is what shit looks like. But Steve's girlfriend Carol, whose name is Carol Saperstein, sure, played by Madison Rush, unsuccessfully tries to dissuade the trio from hurting Jacob when she can't get them to be like, all right, no, you're right, we're being fucking children. She just gets up and goes to the car. She tells him, I think she says like, I'm waiting in the car. It's like, what? Diner employee. This is the part that I was talking about. Okay, so so far sound design has been fine, right?
Okay.
Usually when you're making a film, you have like an ambient noise track, which is like a background track, the vocal track, music track, and then like you add in any of the like bullshit, like, oh, there's a cash register going off, someone's phone's ringing, shit like that. whenever you're recording sound in a location, you go quiet for room tone, and you record everyone's silent, and you just record the sounds that are coming, that are just in the room naturally, so that you can add it into the scene, so that like if you're filming multiple shots in one location, you have room tone for this location, so you can seamlessly cut between stuff, but like that room tone will always be there.
Yeah.
When they go, okay, we're leaving, and then they get up to leave, you can audibly hear the cut in the music, the background noise, and the dialogue, to then immediate, like it's just dead silent, and then it cuts to the scene of Gus's introduction.
Find a clip of it. Let's see if we can put it on the stream so we can hear what you're saying.
Well, that's what I'm trying to tell you. Why don't you call your...
Did you hear that room noise? And then all of a sudden the room noise is fucking gone.
Oh, yes. Now I do know. Now I heard. Now that you pointed out while I'm in the middle of watching it, yeah.
Yeah. It's like you could hear all the room noise. Like that room noise should be standard across the whole thing, because that's just the room, that's just the sound in the diner. And then it's like okay, sounds like that. No, it's gone. And it's like, why didn't you have, because Gus is apparently right across from them, why didn't you do like a J cut or an L cut where you hear Gus speaking before they even show Gus? So it's like you can hear him talking and then they walk up and see it. That's a better shot. Instead, this is just like, all right, cut, put this scene here. We're not going to mix or balance anything. All right, go. And it's like, I just started watching it and that popped up and I was like, fuck, that is terrible. And my first time watching it like months ago, I think I watched this like last Halloween. I never noticed it, but now having to watch it with a critical eye, I'm like, oh, that's not good. And seeing that he's directed like 9 films, and this wasn't even one of his first ones.
Oh, we should have
come on that. Come on, guy. Like, you can do better. This is where we are introduced to, as much as I hate Mike, I fucking hate Gus. I hate him with a goddamn passion.
Unnecessary, disgusting.
He's just he's
a fucking tool.
Gus is who Mike is gonna turn into if he was allowed to live. Like that's just how it is. Like Mike is gonna be him when he gets old. Gus insists on joining in on the prank. He's just another dead-end loser. Mike and Bobby agree to let him join so long as he doubles what they were gonna buy off of him, and they don't charge him. And he doesn't charge him. Yeah, the sheriff speculates that it's like he's into drugs and shit. So like that's what I'm assuming it was. They were gonna buy drugs, but I don't know. Right from this, Gus is just like, yes, oh, it's awesome, and it's like, dude, you look like you haven't showered in 40 years.
He looks like he's a fucking pedophile.
Yeah, we cut to Jacob sitting alone in his house eating Halloween candy in front of a really crappy fucking TV set. Playing the big thing with this is if you watch anytime they're watching movies and there's any other movies showing, it's always like a black and white film. It's all like royalty free shit.
Yeah, well, it makes more sense. They don't have to pay for it.
Yeah, I don't believe like towards the end when Mike is sitting in his house and his dad goes to talk to him. Well, sitting in his dad's house, because again, we don't know how old they're supposed to be, and he's like watching TV and like eating popcorn. He's like and he's like staring at it. And it's like some old shitty black and white fucking movie. Like, I don't believe that. Like, that's just stupid. You could have like put your own, like just film something on a green screen and it would have been fucking better placed there, but I don't fucking know. Anyway, Jacob bikes barefoot to his new job at the traveling carnival.
Dude, that is so disgusting.
His feet.
Do we have a picture of his fucking gross monkey like paw feet? That was disgusting. They curl over the fucking the pedal. It's so disgusting.
Yeah, no, it's fucking disgusting, dude.
Oh my god, this poor man's disgusting ass fucking lichen feet. It looks like a goddamn werewolf's foot.
It's so fucking gross. There you go. There's them feet.
Oh my god, man. Terrible.
It's so fucking
terrible.
Bad. It's so fucking bad. But yeah, he got a new job at the traveling carnival, so I guess he's gonna be like on the road with them and everything. And the carnival is called Dr. Death Sideshow Spook House Spectacular. Lester is the ringmaster. He is Dr. Death in the whole thing. When Jacob shows up, it's not late. It's still early, but I guess the carnival is still like doing shit. So he gets
like they set up.
Yeah, so he scolds Jacob for being late, but also shows that he cares about him and the people he works for. Yeah, he was just like, you gotta shape up. You can't be late. But it's like, if he's gonna be traveling like with you, like, I don't see how he could be late. If this was like his first day like working for you, he's leaving home. I don't know. But he does show that like he cares for the people that he works for, and like he'll take care of everyone. And after yelling at him, he reassures him and tells him that now he's one of them. However, this is such a creepy ass low budget carnival. This
this is very much a sideshow freak show.
This is oof. That's just I don't like it. Gus is waiting for Jacob to exit his trailer as Carol passively observes as Mike, Steve, Bobby, and Gus corner Jacob at the carnival. Jacob fights back against the 4 bullies. Once he stands up for himself, they just become entirely more aggressive. They go from
that's the worst part.
They end up beating Jacob to death. Well, Mike ends up beating Jacob to death.
Yes.
But here's my thing. We've all heard stories about carnies, right?
Yeah.
If those stories are even, let's say 25% true, would you ever fuck with one of them?
No. I don't fuck with them when I do go to carnivals.
Now
if there's anybody that can kill you, dispose of your body, and never be seen again, it's a carny.
Yeah. So, like, I'm looking at this like, okay, we've all heard stories about carnies. I'm not saying they're true. I'm not saying they're false. But even if you're going on the assumption, even if you're going on the assumption that carnies are dangerous and vindictive and all that bullshit, and they're crazy, they're criminals, all that, why would you specifically fuck with carnies at a carnival that looks like this? Like, this looks like they would all walk into town and just stab everyone as they go down fucking Main Street. Like, no, you don't fuck with these people. But yeah, so like, I never understood that. I feel like they would burn the fucking town to the ground, but it's whatever.
Torch that shit.
I feel like in this situation, a question has to be asked: how dumb is Mike?
Oh, I don't put anything.
Like, he has to be like crazy fucking stupid.
He's a fucking tool.
But like I told you earlier, I feel like this is all, he's just a fucking loser bully suffering from tiny dick syndrome that
friends egg it on because they look up to him.
They're fucking dumb losers too. But it's like, if his friends weren't there,
he would do nothing.
He would go to bully Jacob like he did, and then Jacob would push him like he did, knocking him to the fucking ground, and then he'd get up and run away like the little fucking pussy monster that he is. Thanks, Inari God, for the sub. Burn the town to the ground. You can't prove nothing hides matches. It's very true. But yeah, so while Mike's lying on the ground like the little bitch that he is, the rest of the guys gang up on Jacob to, I guess, soften him up for Mike. But it's like Mike is laying on the ground for a while they're beating up Jacob before he like gets up and starts just sitting on him and punching his face in. Then he kicks him in the face, and I guess that kills him.
I don't know. I don't know if he was fully killed, like he was just passed out. I don't know. It's very
because it's like we don't know when Lester finds the body. We just know that after they do that, Lester finds the body. Lester finds Jacob's body and has the employees bring him into his trailer. While this is going on, Mike and his cronies are already trying to come up with lies to cover their asses because they know they done fucked up. They come up with such gems as, "We weren't going there to hurt him." Yes, you were.
You specifically were in that diner plotting out his demise.
Yeah, don't lie. Yes, you were. You've been doing this since you were kids. You were absolutely gonna fucking do this.
You admitted that you guys were doing this as kids.
He threw the first punch. Well, I mean, technically, Steve, you touched him first. You grabbed at him and he pushed you away. It was called self-defense. No.
It's 4-on-1.
Cause see, well, yeah, there's that, but also dumbass Steve may have touched Jacob first, but Mike was the first one to actually strike Jacob. He smacked him in the back of the head. You now assaulted him. You straight up assaulted him. So anything he does to you is self-defense.
His self-defense.
Yeah. So, and then all 4 of you, like that's probably like the biggest thing I hate. I hate bullies that are such little bitches that they can't fight their own battles. They have to have people there to fight them, to like fight with them, just like they were doing. So they're coming up with all these things, and like my main thing is like with them coming up with all these plans, them saying he threw the first punch, it was self-defense, blah blah blah, all this stuff. That's all contingent on nobody else being around. You know, you don't know, like you beat the shit out of him in like Carney's corner, and like that's where all of their places are. You beat the shit out of them in the middle of like their homes. So
why wouldn't they retaliate? You know,
why wouldn't they retaliate? Who's to say someone wasn't in one of those trailers watching you do it and watching you do it? You know, yeah. Like you can't come up with like this bullshit if you don't know everything that happens. And this will come up later when he's threatening someone and there's someone sitting right there. Mike's a fucking idiot. He's just a fucking idiot. I hate him. I'm glad he dies at the end. Carol decides that she wants no part of this and tells him she's leaving and that she's gonna walk home, and then Steve like follows after her. Using occult magic and a creepy ass Halloween mask, Lester resurrects Jacob as a supernatural creature of vengeance.
Really don't understand that whole entire thing.
It was voodoo.
Is it the mask or
no? I think it's just like the mask is to like cover him up, but it's I think it's just like hoodoo shit. The next day is Halloween. Mike's father is the sheriff, Sam Bramford. He briefly spots Jacob covered in blood while out on patrol. Now, I think that's part of the power for Jacob, because like later, Lester's like he needs
that
more
one
blood.
He didn't have a mask on, nothing. It looked like he just had like no shirt.
He looked like he was just drenched in blood. So it's like I don't know what happened. Anariga, did you actually watch the movie?
You might have seen it already, but I feel like that's right. That's right though. And just like you know, all the mask and all the other slasher films, it's like a defense mechanism.
He spots him covered in blood while I think he's flirting with dispatcher Marcy.
Like a terrible actress.
Yeah, and like a good cop, he sees something suspicious that is legitimately suspicious and pulls over to be like, "Oh, what the fuck?" And then gets out and he's gone. And he's like, "I saw you." And it's like, oh, well, Jacob's gone. Marcy calls Sam back to the Grove Hill Sheriff's Station. When he arrives, Carol is there and tearfully explains what happened the previous evening. And this is probably, I wouldn't believe her. Like if I was the sheriff and she's sitting there talking, like her crying, I'm gonna say something controversial. Amber Heard did a better job on the stand. that like this was terrible. She's like, and then this happened. It's like, what are you fucking doing? This is awful. Like, stop it. Don't be an actress. This is awful. Sam tells her he'll talk to Mike and the boys because while no one reported like a dead body, what the boys did was completely out of line. So at least he's sitting there and he's like, look, what they did was bullshit and they shouldn't have fucking done that. So we're gonna take care of this. But then she starts to beg him, please don't tell Mike I talked to you. That should be a clear indicator that your son is a piece of shit. If you're the authority figure in the town and someone comes to you and you're like, please don't tell your son that I told you, that should be a clear indicator that your child is a fucking piece of shit and you should probably handle that.
He's like a grown-ass adult and you're like the chief or whatever of police.
Yeah, because I think he's the sheriff and everyone else is the deputies. The sheriff goes to the carnival to talk to Lester, and he just tells him, yes, his employee was beaten up, but he took the beating and is fine now. The sheriff is just like, okay, and walks away.
Which would never happen.
Then Lester hits him with straight fucking fire. This is probably like 99% true. Cops never prevent bad things from happening. They just show up after the crime is done. They're like glorified garbage men with badges. That is so fucking true. The sheriff calls the dispatch to tell Marcy Carol was telling the truth about the attack and that he's heading over to Jacob's house to get his side of the story. Jacob isn't home, surprise, surprise. However, something is watching the sheriff from the shed and growling. I'm assuming that was Jacob in his mask.
Yeah.
Carol is lying in bed after taking a shower and is startled by a phone call that is all static. I don't understand what any of that was. And then Steve throws what I'm assuming is a mud pie at her window.
I don't know what that was.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
But I'm sorry. Does anybody else see the similarities in like Scream or what is it, Nightmare on Elm Street of that scene.
Yeah. Yeah. And Argad wants to know if we
Sentient in
think
his
Jacob
survival
was
or just
sentient
driven by
or
a
yeah.
course of revenge. See, I
I
don't understand his coming back. Is
well,
he
he was
alive
only
or
he
is
was I think he's a zombie. I think this has to do with like voodoo occult bullshit.
I think he
So
wasn't fully dead.
so I think he was sentient because he knew who to go after. He went specifically after his bullies, but then you would be like, well, what's her face? Carol never bullied him, but she was there. So the way
He
she
knew
died,
and did nothing.
yeah, the way she died is very specific. So I think he was fully aware of everything that was going on. So Steve throws like a shit brick at her window and she opens it and she's like, that's not funny, blah, blah, blah. And then they're like, he's like, I like it when you're scared. And then they make out. It's, I don't know, small town America. I don't fucking know, man.
For someone that was so upset about him being a complete and total piece of shit.
Yep, you're really quick to get that dick in you. So it's like, I don't know. Steve and her reconcile, and he tells her he'll pick her up after he gets out of work. Carol goes to pick up an order at the diner. I guess this is just like small town America. This is the only fucking diner that's there. When Mike sneaks up behind her and begins threatening her because he found out that she talked to his father about what they did to Jacob.
Well, when
Carol,
Daddy's the sheriff.
Yeah. It's like he didn't even like. I don't believe the sheriff was like, hey, Carol came and talked to me. What the fuck you guys did was wrong.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure he just said like, hey, I heard about what you guys did and it's fucked up. Don't do that again. And Mike just assumed it was Carol because she was like, I don't want any fucking part of this. But yeah, so Mike gets there and he's like, you better shut your fucking mouth. Wait, no, hold on. He was like, you better shut your mouth. And it's like, shut the fuck up, man. I hate you. I hate you so fucking much. No, it's all wrong inflection. I fucking hate it. But then Carol runs out of the diner. I hope she got her food. And Mike is just standing there thinking that like he's like this tough guy. And then fucking, I think the dude's name is Chet, the diner worker. I'm pretty sure his name is Chet.
Oh, that guy. It's a very small role. I don't remember.
All you hear is him go, can I help you with something? And then Mike looks over at him and he's just sitting there. So this dude is just watching you,
watching him
threaten and bully this woman.
I am so glad you pointed that out.
He's looking at Mike like, I don't fucking give a shit
who
like,
you are. Hey, dick, you want to get out? You know, it doesn't stick up for her. Be like, you can take your bullshit outside. Nothing.
But it's not even like he didn't stick up for her, because I doubt he would stick up for her. He's probably like, that ain't my pussy. I don't care. Yeah, or whatever. But the fact that like, it's like now you know that there's a person that was watching you threaten someone. So if something happens to her, he knows that you were just threatening her. You don't threaten people while there are fucking witnesses. It's like, Mike is fucking stupid. He's so fucking dumb. I hate him as a character. He's a terrible actor. Boo.
He is a terrible fucking actor.
Okay. Woo. So, oh god, I went on a
yes,
rant.
we're on a tangent and got off course. Yes.
God, Mike is small town stupid. That's what I called him for threatening people while there are witnesses around. I also noted that nobody is scared of him except the dimwits that he chills with. The mentally handicapped person that he's been bullying for years even stood up to him and wasn't scared of him anymore. What is wrong with your fucking life?
Because he lost his scare appeal.
Because he's like 10 years from being a senior citizen. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? And in this scene, he specifically looks like he's 40. Like, he looks terrible. This is when I went, all right, I need to look up how old these fucking people are. And I started like trying to go down a rabbit hole. So the dude playing the sheriff, Courtney Gaines, he is 56 years old. In real life, but there's no age from Mike. But he looks like he's 40. Did he have him when he was like supposed to be 20? Like, how old are they is he supposed to be? Like an old person, like well past college age? Is he supposed to be like just recently graduated college? Like, high school. Let's not go college. It's like, I don't think any of these people are going to college. But yeah, I don't. In all of these films, that seems to be like a really big thing that pisses me off. I don't understand ages. Have people look like their fucking age. It's not difficult.
Close to it as possible.
Yeah. And if they are supposed to look like what their age is, then tell us what their fucking age is. It's a simple fucking request. Okay, so what do we got? Oh, we get more fucking Gus. As Mike and Carol leave, Gus comes walking in, yet nobody fucking notices or acknowledges him as he walks in. They walk out, he walks in. Mike doesn't even say anything to him. There's no dialogue interaction between the two. He just walks in and immediately starts boasting to Chet about there were so many asses last night. Some got kicked, some got sticked.
He's so gross, that guy.
Ew. Ew. No, see, now I have to fucking... This is Chet.
Oh my god.
Who is fucking him? Honestly.
That whole scene was so terrible.
Yeah, who is having sex with Chet? You know what the answer is? Fucking nobody. Nobody is having sex with Chet.
He's having sex with himself.
Like, god damn it. It's just so fucking gross. But he comes in talking about all the fucking and fighting he did, and I guess Chet starts talking about how, man, you're the man, or you're so cool, or whatever. And then I guess Gus goes to take a shit, right?
No, it looks like I think
because he's sitting. He's sitting.
No. He's actually in real life. I think he's whacking it, and when his daydream was shitting, and I guess wants a kablunkin. I don't know. That's when she comes in.
So when Gus comes in, he's all like or whatever to Chet. He takes a look over at Shirley, who I guess is one of the waitresses, and she's like, or whatever. And then Gus goes to beat off, take a shit. I don't fucking know. And then Shirley comes in and is all like, what you were talking about earlier? I want you to do it to me. And he's like, And then she takes her tits out. Yeah. So we get tits in the movie, but it's old lady tits. So, sure. It immediately cuts right after that to what looks like him jerking off.
Yes.
And
whap-a-da-doo.
Yeah, so there's a knock at the door, and he gets pissed that he's being interrupted again. So he zips up, he finishes, he walks out, and there's no one there. There's just a Halloween basket of candy sitting on the sink, and for some gross fucking reason, he decides to start fucking eating out of it. Like, why are you eating food in a toilet?
Toilet, yes.
Like,
why did you bring it in?
Well, he didn't bring it in. The fucking, what's-his-face brought it in.
Yeah.
But still, like, who in their right mind? You were taking a shit, you were jerking off, you had sex, that thing wasn't there. The bathroom looks dirtier, but in general, the sink could have just been that dirty to begin with. But you come out...
It looks as if, like, they're, like, in an area that is, has a lot of, dust. Like, a lot of,
yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, because we have those places in Texas.
Soot.
Yes.
Yeah. And it looks gross, but, like, who walks out and goes, oh, candy, and just starts eating candy out of a fucking Halloween bowl in a bathroom? Like, that's disgusting. And then he finally notices someone bloody wearing a Halloween mask. He's like, oh, you scared me. And then fucking... I
know you.
Yeah, then he finally realizes who it is. And he's like, hey, man, I didn't want to do it, man. Like the little fucking bitch that he is.
You literally jumped in immediately.
You wanted to do it so fucking bad, and they let you do it. And now you're like, no, I don't want to. And then he gets fucking bloody killed. I don't know how he gets killed, though. Because the next kill, yeah.
I could have sworn he puts his hand through his stomach and starts letting his entrails out.
Okay, that's specifically how. Because before with the next person that dies, they're like, oh, he was killed the same way. And it's like, I don't think so.
No, they all were killed differently.
Right? Yeah. Carol surprises Steve at work and tells him that Mike cornered her at the diner and threatened her. He tells her not to worry and that he'll talk to him later. And then as they're getting ready to make out, they're interrupted by someone else that tells them about Gus's death at the diner. Do you think Steve would stand up to Mike?
No. He's a lackey. He's
a
fucking lackey.
Because there's another scene where it's like, he's like, which is coming up soon, where he's all like, like, we should go. And Mike's just like, you need to take a chill pill.
Yeah.
And stuff. And it's like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? Like, come on, man. But yeah, so they run out, and this was another, it went, do you know what happened at the diner? And then dialogue just cut out, and it went like a little slow-mo, and then immediately cut to the sheriff and his deputies, Deputy Conrad and Deputy Fox, investigating the crime scene. They look and they're like, oh my God. And then I think it was Deputy Conrad asks, like, you know, you should really have your gun. And he was like, why would I need a gun? Crimes like this don't happen in this town.
That was the dumbest fucking thing I've heard too. I was like, okay.
And it's like, that's fine.
What kind of a policing are you doing where you
Yeah.
have nothing on your side?
Well, I mean, he might have a baton or something. Like in the UK, the cops don't have guns. Japan,
But
the
they
cops
have
don't
a
have guns.
baton.
Yeah,
They
but
have
we
a
don't know
baton.
that he doesn't have a baton. But
Well,
I don't think a
they
baton
have
would really
it.
stop the person that like ripped someone's fucking
Oh,
guts
God,
out.
no,
You know, like,
That's a no.
But while they're looking at all that, they're now outside and talking to Chet. And then Steve and Carol show up and are trying to like run into the diner. I don't know why they would run right into the diner. They see cops everywhere. Like, you're not being let in. The sheriff stops them from getting any closer. He sees that there's clearly something wrong with them, especially when he asks, like what could the connection be and shit like that. And they're all like, and it's like, uh-oh. So they go down to the police station, and now Steve has corroborated like everything that happened that night. And that what's his name? I already forgot his name. Yeah, they admit that Gus drove them to the carnival, and then the next day he turns up dead. Sam assures them that the murder is completely unrelated to the incident at the carnival.
Unrelated to the incident. Love that.
But understands their concern. What? This is where he blames, like, well, it was probably drugs. And it's like, really? In like buttfuck nowhere, Ohio, this dude is brutally murdered this way for like drug things?
No.
So after this, Bobby, Steve, and Carol are all at Bobby's house discussing Gus's death when Mike shows up, and like I said, he's like, what am I even here for? It's bad. Why is he talking that way? You know?
Yeah.
It's so fucking bad. And he's like, it has nothing to do with it. Just go about your fucking day. Forget it. And then he tells him to take a chill pill, and then he leaves. So he leaves, and then the other two, Steve and Carol, decide, it's fine. We'll leave too. So then they leave, and Bobby, at the second they're outside the house, Bobby hears a fucking noise in his house, and Jacob comes out of nowhere and throws him up against a wall and rips his fucking spine out.
Which I thought was kind of cool. With the whole
it's a cool kill.
It is.
But it's like there was a lot of close-ups of his face, probably so that like when the tear happened, they could just like put and then and it's like stuff like that is fine so long as it makes sense. What I don't like are all the fucking slow motion shots that we're getting that we don't need.
I told you, I think that they try to get real artsy with it and weren't doing it very well.
Yeah. So while Bobby's getting his spine ripped out, Sheriff Sam and Deputy Fox try to interview Lester once again, but Lester dodges Sam's questions. Deputy Conrad interrupts them to report Bobby's been murdered. So they go down to the new crime scene, and everything is gross, and Deputy Fox seems like he's about to have a fucking breakdown investigating this thing. He does not look like he's doing too well. This is when I think it was either Fox or it was Conrad that said that the kills were they were killed the same way. That's when I got confused, because I was like, well,
did not kill the same way though.
Gus was even if Gus's spine was ripped out from the front, right? Like it still wouldn't be the same. Yeah. Well, you'd have to go through the entrails to get to the spine, but it's like it still wouldn't be the same way because this dude had his spine ripped out from the back. Meanwhile, the other one had whatever happened to him through the front. Whatever. It's just weird shit. Like the writers saw it and it was like, whoa, bro, that's epic. I got to put that in my movie. So after this latest death, what's his face? The sheriff orders Marcy to issue a curfew while Conrad is ordered to lock down the town. Apparently none of the cops have guns because the sheriff has to start handing out guns. So, I mean, I guess crime doesn't usually happen there besides picking on the mentally disabled, but whatever.
It's worse. You're the fucking, the cop's kid. Like, you're a poster boy.
Yeah. Mike definitely seems like he should have been in jail for like a majority of his life. Sam asks his son. So okay, we're at the point where Sam gives Conrad the gun the shotgun and tells him to go start closing stuff. Marcy's calling shit, be put on curfew, and they're like, if you see anyone out after dark, arrest him. So that he's like, he leaves, which I mean, if you're on curfew and there's a murderer out, yes, if you are out in public when you're told not to, you should be arrested, either for your safety or to make sure that you are not one of the killers. But it's at this point the sheriff heads home so he can talk to his son. He asks him more information about Jacob or the carnival, and Mike is super cagey about everything, avoiding his questions, being like, oh, look, I'm watching black and white movie, and fucking stupid shit. He tells his son he's getting too old for this shit. His son was too old for this shit like 20 fucking years ago.
Like, yeah, dude, well before the time period of
like,
doing this shit.
Like, the fact that he's like, oh, whatever, dad, and I'm like, dude, you're fucking 40 years old. You should be, like, almost at your pension. What are you doing? Steve and Carol are making out when he gets a call from Mike telling him that the party is off because of the town on lockdown. They don't really care, and they go back to making out and fucking. I'm assuming they're fucking because that amount of dry humping, I'm assuming someone's fucking. We watch the town go into lockdown. A bunch of great shots. Like, that's one of the things, like I said in the spoiler-free review, that, like, the cinematography in this, besides the weird slow-mo shit, the cinematography and the color grade for this is really fucking good. Like,
put a lot of effort into the art.
The aerial shots of, like, the trees and the forest, it looks fucking gorgeous. The shots, like, even when Jacob was riding his bike to the carnival, it looked beautiful.
Yes, the opening scene was done it reminded me of old slasher films.
It's just some of the acting. Holy fucking shit, is it bad? So they don't give a shit. They go back to making out. The town goes into lockdown. Sheriff Sam and the Deputy Fox go back to Jacob's house. I have a feeling that if Deputy Fox survives all of this, he's going to retire. Like, he cannot mentally handle this shit. He is done. And of course, Deputy Fox is the one to discover the shriveled corpse of Jacob's mother hidden under a bed. like he's like, oh, it smells. There's something there. And then the sheriff opens it, and it's like that's a point where he's probably like, you know what? I fucking quit.
I'm done.
I quit. I'm done. I don't want to deal with this. I'm moving out of town. I don't want any part of this. Steve and Carol are fucking again, this time in the movie theater that Steve works at. While that's happening, actually, no, they're dry humping again, and she gets up to I'll be right back. And then we cut to Tony Todd's real first scene of him talking and doing stuff as Bishop Gate, no S. And the other carnies, they confront Lester to try to get the truth out of him about, like, all this occultism and voodoo shit. Lester claims that he's immortal, and that kind of shuts Bishop Gate up. Yeah, it's like, I am immortal. I will never die. Sit the fuck down. And he's like, all right.
Well, if you put it to me that way.
Yeah, so he sits down, and then we cut back to Carol surprising Steve by showing up in her underwear in front of the projector. She turns around, and that candy bucket is sitting right on the stairs.
And that bitch is gone.
We cut right back to Lester rallying everyone to combat the town's impending witch hunt. He's like, if they're coming for freaks, then let's give them freaks. Cut back to the thing, and we cut back to the movie theater, and Jacob murders Steve in front of Carol, and then chases her as she ridiculously stumbles, falls, and slides on nothing. Nothing. What are you tripping on? What are you stumbling on? What are you sliding on? You're barefoot.
Every stereotypical fucking.
You're barefoot on a carpet. Like, there's no sliding on a carpet. Like,
well, you could, but it's not that easy.
On bare feet?
Oh, bare feet?
She's barefoot. Remember, she's down to just her panties and underwear. That's all that she's wearing.
Yeah, that would probably be pretty decent. Hard.
And like you had she had like good spacing between her and Jacob. And then she's just tripping over stuff. Why did she like run around the thing? Why didn't she just jump off the stage and go? Because at least then if she jumped off the stage, she could have like landed weird and like, oh, my ankle, and like did that whole fucking cliche. But instead, the cliche that they went with was she goes around one of the rows of seating, and she's stumbling, and then she starts falling. And then as she's trying to get herself back up, she just keeps sliding. She can't get her footing. And it's like, that doesn't make any fucking sense. Nothing is wet. Mike wasn't killed there, so there's no like blood for her, like any wetness. It's just the carpet.
Yeah.
That's all that, like none of that should have been fucking happening. Jacob suddenly, no. So Jacob catches her and rips out her tongue. He doesn't rip out her whole tongue. It looks like it's just the front of the tongue. So I don't think she would die from that either.
Oh, and they made her bleed out. Like, it was like, oh my God.
Yeah, it's a fucking tongue. There are tons of people walking around that have had their tongues cut out. Like,
well, they cut around the vein that's in there, but like still, people bite off their tongue all the time and live.
yeah, I've done it. I've bitten off the tip of my tongue where they had to stitch everything fucking back. I would try to show the scar on stream, but it's like
You're not
I'd
gonna
have to
see
like
it on your tongue.
No, you could still see it. You could still see it. So it's like you could survive that, which is why I don't think that she would fucking die from that. She would definitely pass out from blood loss, but by the time they get back to her, to that crime scene, they should have been able to get her in a fucking ambulance and fucking out of there and survive. This is why, like, I don't necessarily know if she's dead. I know the sheriff said it, but in my head, I don't believe she is, because there would be no, well, blood loss plus shock. Well, you see, that's why I could see her like passing out from shock, but I still don't see her being dead. The because it's like, yeah, he's killing all of his bullies, like the people that like legitimately beat the shit out of him, but still attacking her even though she didn't do anything to stop the attack and didn't necessarily take part in the attack. I could see him like ripping out the tongue for like metaphorical, like you kept your mouth shut. After her tongue is ripped out and she passes out dying, Jacob collapses. Then somehow Lester finds him unconscious and has people bring him back to the carnival to revive him with fresh blood. He collapsed there. So it's like, how did Lester find him? So maybe he is all occultish and shit and like,
Maybe, yeah.
so it's like he has like an attachment to him and knew. Sheriff Sam and Fox discover the bodies at the theater after they spot Steve's car. I think it was still running outside the theater.
No, it wasn't
like,
running.
Are you sure?
I don't think it was running.
Because it's like when they pulled up and turned off their car, I still heard a car running.
No, because they were there. They're doing all their sexy stuff.
Yeah, they were doing their fucking, but that's not to say that after Lester came and picked up Jacob, that they didn't turn the car on to let them know to go there, to cause more of a panic. But it's like, regardless, it's they see his car and they go in to investigate the theater when the sheriff steps on Carol's tongue and they go, we need to fucking find the rest of the people. And that's when they find the bodies. And the sheriff immediately calls Mike to tell him that his friends are now all dead. Is that well, I mean, she may not have been a bullier, but she didn't try to stop it, so I can see the revenge desire too. She enabled it. Yeah, no, I fully agree. Like, if you wanted no part of this, you could have gone to the fucking place, or like while they were getting ready to do that, at least run up and find another carny and be like, hey, I need you over here right now, so that like she doesn't have to be involved. Like, she doesn't have to be seen like bringing them and shit, but at least someone's there. But yeah, she didn't do any of it. Now we're up to the fucking douchebaggery that is Mike. Mike is finally gonna get what he fucking deserves. He goes to the carnival to angrily confront Lester. I don't know why he would go to angrily, like, I feel like because he's yelling specifically for like them. Yeah, but Jacob still needs fresh blood. Bishop Gate goes in to be like, hey, Mike is here, and Lester's like, hey, Jacob still needs some fresh blood. We can't, like, he's not ready yet. So he tells Bishop to tell the rest of the carnies to keep him busy. And then one of the big carnies fucking surprises him. He turns around, gives him that big creepy smile, and then fucking headbutts the shit out of him. He wakes up to some bizarre fucking stage performance. I would really love to see, like, if there was a behind the scenes of this movie where you get to see the full stage performance of what these carnies are supposed to do. Because like, I want to see, because like when it comes to like the bearded lady, like they were showing a bearded lady, it was just like,
you didn't ever see her. Yeah,
it was a fat person wearing a fucking ceramic mask with a
ceramic
beard.
Shit.
So it's like, what? But then
I was like, what do they have at this carnival?
But then the person playing the piano looked like a wolf boy or dog boy or something. Like he was scruffy and he looked like he had fangs and everything. It was weird. I really wish we got to see more of like what that stage show was. But yeah, he's tied up having to deal with that shit. The sheriff heads back home to talk to speak to Mike, only to find Lester waiting for him. Lester's being a badass, and the sheriff is clearly upset with everything that's going on. And then when he starts threatening him, I forget how he said it, because he got up and he started walking, and he's like, "Where's my son?" And he was like, "All right, we got to do it this way." And then Bishop Gate knocks the sheriff unconscious, and that's when he tells Lester, like, this is way too much, and then tosses the pipe at him and then leaves.
Yeah.
Lester, then not giving any fucks about it, saws off Sam's head with the smallest knife I've ever seen.
It was
like
a
that
itty bitty knife too.
That had to have taken a while.
Yeah,
you know,
feasibly impossible.
After recovering from his capture, Mike is stumbling around the carnival, Midway, main thoroughfare. I don't know what it's called. I'm not a carny. The sheriff's patrol car is pulling up, so Mike starts to run towards it, only to notice that his father's severed head is the hood ornament on it. So now while he's crying for his daddy, Jacob attacks him and fucking rips his arms off. I would have loved to have seen him rip the arms off and then fucking just go to town on him like a fucking
Just
drum
hit
kit.
him with it.
But no, he rips the arms off, and Mike is like, "Oh my god!" And then Lester walks up to Jacob, hands him that trick-or-treat pail. It's filled with candy corn, and with Mike still alive, he pulls his fucking teeth out and replaces them with the candy corn. That happens as we slowly fades to black, and then it fades back in. The what the hell is the name of the place? Dr. Death's like sideshow spooktacular or some fucking bullshit like that.
Yeah, they all start with an S.
Dr. Death's sideshow spooktacular. Dr. Death's sideshow spook house spectacular. Jesus fucking Christ. But yeah, he's moved into a new town. The new town is Plainfield, Wisconsin, where he sells a necklace made from Mike's teeth to a patron. Lester cryptically explains that he will always exact revenge whenever the outside world tries to keep freaks like them down. And that is the end of Candy Corn. But fun facts for the film, if IMDb and a couple of websites are to be believed, there was a bar patron in the beginning of the film that was an uncredited cameo. He was played by Tim Russ, who is best known for Star Trek Voyager. He was in that scene because his daughter is Madison Russ. She played Carol. The final scene where the carnival like moved to in Plainfield, Wisconsin, is where Ed Gein is from. Courtney Gaines, Tony Todd, and PJ Souls were all cast to add horror name recognition to the film. Courtney Gaines is best known for portraying Malachi in Children of the Corn in 1984. Outlander. I always remember that because I was always like, "Oh my god, dude! Like, what the fuck?" He's just like, Outlander. It's like, why are you saying it like that? Tony Todd, best known for horror roles, especially he's been in a lot of horror movies, but he is known as the Candyman. Yeah. And then PJ Souls, Dispatcher Marcy. That's Linda from the original Halloween movie from 1978.
No, really?
Yeah. But yeah, that's really all the stuff. I don't know if you want to go first, if you want me to go first.
I honestly would give this like a 3.
Yeah. I'm right there.
It's at a 3 for me. What kept it going was Dr. Death and just trying to see what the kills were. Like, what were they going to do with them? Everything else I could have not had.
Yeah. I absolutely would love to see a more fleshed out sequel where we focus on Dr. Death.
Yes.
Like the dude, I think his name is like Poncho. No, I think it's Pancho. I don't fucking know. Top thing. That's fucked. Okay, so in the beginning when I was doing the production facts of stars, he is definitely the star of it. It's a lot of about him, but like he was so good. He was so charismatic. He fucking every time he was in a scene, like he commanded that fucking scene. And to see that, like, you know, what was it? It was like Tony Todd's character said, like, we want the truth of like what's going on. So maybe all the carnies have been resurrected like Jacob was at one point.
They're trying to find out, like, am I really alive?
Yeah, maybe it's like shit like that. It's like we don't know. And I would love to see a sequel that I don't want a prequel. I don't want any of that bullshit. I want a sequel after all of this shit happened because I want Jacob there. Because Jacob as like this menacing, just like hulking thing, he reminds me of the mask-wearing giant in House of a Thousand Corpses. the kid that was playing him, like while wearing that mask, very much had that same presence as that guy. So it's like, I like that character. I like that character of Jacob. I feel like we need a better name than Jacob. You know, like, I'm not really a fan of that, but I would like to see a continuation where maybe Jacob is normal now that, like, his revenge is complete.
Yeah.
And now there's someone else there and shit that, like, he's going to. What exactly is this occult stuff? Is he actually immortal? Is this voodoo? Is this witchcraft? Like, what is this? I would love to see a sequel.
Curse or...
My real only critiques for this, really, it's, you know, honestly, it's only 2, because I don't even count fucking Deputy Marcy, because she's in like 2 things. She's like, oh, hi. Like, that's all she fucking does. Madison Russ is awful in this. Carol, she's fucking terrible. She is awful. And fucking, what the fuck is Jimothy's last name? Jimothy Beckholt. Fucking awful. I don't know if he still acts and does stuff, but I'm hoping he went to acting school so he can learn, like, proper inflection.
And change his name.
For me, it's really the biggest down point of this is the acting, because the script is pretty tight. The pacing for it is really good. I do wish that there was a little bit more info on Dr. Death and, like, his whole shit. But yeah, then it's just like the cinematography is good. The soundtrack is good. Some of the sound editing, as I showed earlier, was really bad. And yeah, like, I would give this a 3. This is, I would definitely watch it. It's not one of those films where it's just not worth your time. Okay, next week's film is The Hills Have Eyes from 1977. I pray to God that this trailer is good. Here we go.
Saw them first. The Hills Have Eyes.
I realized that I was muted while I was saying all that. Okay, so that was The Hills Have Eyes. I cut the trailer short because it was like 2 minutes and 40 seconds, and it was giving up like a lot of the movie. So I would recommend instead just going to watch the movie. And what I was saying was that is Anthony's pick for next week. The 1977, I think it's Wes Craven, The Hills Have Eyes. If you want to get a little bit ahead on movies, especially Nari God, who said he's trying to make a little bit more me time, so to like watch movies and stuff, this film, which is the week after's choice, which is mine, is called Death of a Vlogger.
Hey guys, Graham here.
That will be the film in 2 weeks. All right, everyone. Thank you for watching. This has been the Spooky Spooky Horror Show. I'm Sean. That's Anthony. And we will see you next week. Bye.